What's up, everybody? Straw Hats Are Cool here, and we are back again with another video. Today we are going to be hopping on the rank sim and doing some more ranked gameplay, but we're going to be using a leader that I probably shouldn't be playing with on the ranked ladder. I've already recorded some games. It did not go very well, but we were able to get some wins. We had more losses than wins, of course, but we did get a couple wins, and I'm sure our opponents were salty about that. But we are going to be going over none other than the mono purple Foxy leader, which was introduced in OP07. Before we get into the deck breakdown, as always, I do just want to thank everyone who has been supporting the channel. We've gained quite a few subscribers over the last week or so. Really do appreciate that. We are getting pretty close to 2,600 subscribers already, so well on our way to getting to 3K, which is a big milestone that I'm hoping to hit. So if you're enjoying the content, I really would appreciate it if you not only like the video but subscribe to the channel, especially if you want to see more content like this in the future. Additionally, we do have a Discord. Link for that will be in the video description, and we also have an affiliate link for TCG Player. So with OP07 now officially out, now is the time you want to be picking up your singles. And if you do plan on picking up any singles, consider using my affiliate link. Small percentage of your purchase will go towards supporting the channel. I do plan on doing a market watch this week, so if you've been holding out or excited for that, hoping to put that out on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that if you're wanting to hear my thoughts on some potential cards you want to pick up. But anyway, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the deck breakdown. So Foxy is a new mono purple leader introduced in OP07. He's got 5,000 power and 5 life, as you would expect with a monocolor leader. He's got a when attacking effect where you may return 3 Dawn to the Dawn deck, and if you have 3 or more Foxy Pirate characters in play, choose up to one of each of your opponent's rested leaders and characters. The cards you chose do not become active during their owner's next refresh phase. So it's a very annoying leader effect once you get it going. However, the condition that you need to have 3 or more Foxy Pirates type character is really what makes this deck borderline unplayable, for 2 reasons. One, you need to have 3 or more characters on board. This is a big ask in a format that is so heavy on removal. You know, chances are you'll have 3 out, you'll be able to get the effect off, and your opponent's probably clearing at least one of those things on the next turn, if not 2. So that sucks. And because you need to have those characters, it also a lot of the time feels really bad to attack with your Foxy Pirate type characters. You want to leave them active so they have a better chance of sticking around, so that you're able to use your leader effect in the following turn. And the other thing is that it is specifically Foxy Pirates type characters that you need to have on the board. So not only do you need to have 3 or more characters on the board, they have to be Foxy Pirates types, which means you're pretty... the deck is very limited on what cards you're actually able to play, because you need to have 3 or more Foxy Pirates types on the characters on the field. So you have to play a very high number of Foxy Pirate types characters, and most of them are pretty mediocre at best. But you know, it is what it is. You guys wanted to see the Foxy, so we're going to try and make it work. So what are we running in the deck? Well, like any good purple deck, we're running 4 copies of the Eustace Captain Kidd from OP05. It's 5 cost, blocker, 6,000 power, 1k counter. That's got the additional effect once per turn. When a Dawn is returned from your field to the Dawn deck, you can add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. So essentially our Dawn -1 effects become essentially free. We're actually getting 1 back active that we can use to either buff up an attack or spend on playing another character, which is really nice. Very helpful in the late game, as you still want to be high on Dawn, but you want to be using your effect every turn. This allows you to maintain Dawn advantage while still being able to use your leader effect, which is a really nice bonus. So 4 copies of Kidd, just one of the best cards in purple. One of the reasons to be playing purple, in my opinion. This card is just exceptionally good. Running 2 copies of Kamazo from OP06. This is a 2k counter, 4 cost, 5000 power, with a your turn once per turn effect. When you return Dawn on your field to the Dawn deck, you may KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. So this can be helpful in matchups that like to go wide with smaller characters like Zoro. Not seeing a whole lot of Zoro in the current format, but against matchups like that can be helpful. Just a nice way to help keep your opponent's board clean of those lower cost characters, which can be annoying. Helps you get around small costed blockers, and it's also just a 5000 power character, so pretty nice stat line. But we're only running at 2. You're not going to be playing it out too often, but it can come up. Next up, this is one of the most important cards for the deck. Essentially Onigashima, except it's a character. It's a 3 cost, 0 power, 1k counter. Activate main if your leader is Foxy Pirates type, and you do not have any other characters named Ito Mimizu. Probably said that wrong. This character, you can't have more than one of this guy on the field, but then you get to ramp a rested Dawn. So again, another card that just helps us maintain our advantage. We really like to see this one early. If we can play this on turn 2, helps us start ramping into some of our bigger plays, allowing us to play multiple characters per turn, which helps us in meeting that requirement to have 3 Foxy Pirates type characters on the board. We're running 2 copies of Capote, 3 cost, 4000 power, 1k counter. On play, Dawn -1 if your leader is Foxy Pirates. Up to one of your opponent's 6 cost or lower characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So this one's weird. We're only running it at 2. Can be helpful in helping us stay alive into the late game, especially against a deck like Red Purple Law. But it's weird because it stuns a character so they can't attack with it. But in order to use our leader effect, the characters need to be rested, so it's kind of counterintuitive to what the deck's trying to do. I think it would have made a lot more sense if it rested a character, and so then you were able to stun it with your leader effect as well. But it's kind of weird because it stops an attack, but it's also not really playing into your leader effect at all. So it's a little bit weird in that sense. But like I said, it can help us in the early game stay alive into the late game, and it's just another Foxy Pirates type character, which we do need in order to use our leader effect. Running 4 copies of the new Sanji. This is a 2k counter SR from OP07, 6 cost, 6000 power, and 2k counter. And it has a really cool effect that states while you have 2 or more less Dawn than your opponent. So for example, if your opponent's at 8 Dawn and you're at 6 Dawn, you'll get this effect. This card in your hand costs 3 less. So you're able to play this card for 3 costs so long as you have 2 less Dawn than your opponent, which is a really nice bonus, especially in a deck where we're doing Dawn -3 with our leader a lot. Oftentimes we can play this out for 3 Dawn, which is really nice. It's not only a blocker, but it's also just a 6000 power body, which can be a very strong attacker if we untap with it. So this is going to be a staple in most purple decks from now on. Expect to see a lot of this in Red Purple Law, as with them doing Dawn -3 all the time, they can even play this out with their leader effect for the reduced cost, which is pretty insane. This is our Foxy Pirates type 2k counter, 1 cost, 0 power. On play, if your leader has Foxy Pirates type and the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number of Dawn on your opponent's field, you can ramp 1 active Dawn. So mainly using this as a 2k counter, but the fact that it gets you an active Dawn when you're behind can be pretty helpful. So you can play this and then still essentially have the same amount of Dawn to play something else, which is nice. And it's also a Foxy Pirates type character that's only 1 cost. So in a pinch, we can play this out to get 3 characters on our board to use our leader effect. Just very nice card. Definitely need to be running it in this deck. Just because, you know, Foxy Pirate type, ramps, 2k counters, all good things. We got Chopper. This card's pretty good, and this is one you may even see some play outside of Foxy decks. It's a 2-cost, 0 power, 1k counter blocker, and on play, if your Dawn is less than or equal to your opponent's, you get 1 ramped active. So it's Foxy Pirates type, so helps meet the leader requirement, helps you ramp, and it's just a chump blocker as well. So all good things for the chopper. Definitely going to be a 4 of in the deck. Also running 4 copies of Pickles. 3 cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter. If you have less or equal Dawn than your opponent, your Foxy Pirate characters other than Pickles cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. Really helpful in the black matchup, and just any matchup that's got removal. Can even come up in the black-yellow Luffy matchup now that they've got the Egghead Luffy, which is able to KO characters. Just kind of an obnoxious character for your opponent to deal with. Protecting everything except for Pickles himself. And it also prevents like Lucci from KOing 2 things. So all around just a good card. Really only good in the black matchup, but because removal is so prevalent right now, I think you need to be running Pickles at 4 copies just to try and help save your board. So like we said, we need to have those 3 characters to use our leader effect. So this can help save some of our characters. So that we're able to keep using our leader effect in subsequent turns. Next up, 4 copies of the new Foxy. This is probably the best card in the deck. It's a 7 cost, 7,000 power character, and it has a really obnoxious opponent's turn effect that states if your leader has Foxy Pirates type, all your opponent's characters have minus 1,000 power. So really nice if we're able to stick this in a deck like Law, as it means all their 5k bodies need a Dawn on them to even attack into us, which is a big bonus. And then it's also got an effect very similar to the Ito Mimizu, where we're just able to once per turn add 1 Dawn rested. So really nice again, especially if we're able to stick this in the late game alongside a kid, where we're able to stay at 10 Dawn while using our leader effect, which is really nice. And then it's just a 7k body as well. A lot of times though, I found myself not attacking with this unless I was confident that my opponent wouldn't be able to attack into it and clear it. Just because it's a very valuable character to have on the board. Being 7 cost means it's harder for them to remove it, and that passive effect on your opponent's turn is really nice, just helping you stay alive into the late game. Porch is one of the new SRs we got in OP07. Very good card for this deck. 3 cost, 5,000 power. On play, Dawn -1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can add up to 1 Foxy Pirates type character to your hand, or type card to your hand. Does not have to be character. Place the rest on the bottom in any order. And then you may play 1 4,000 power or less purple character from your hand. And what's kind of cool about this one is not specifically limited to Foxy Pirates on the card you can play. It just has to be 4,000 power or less and be purple. So this is a card that could potentially see play in some other decks. I mean, you're only getting the search Foxy Pirates types card, but just being able to spit out 2 bodies is always good, and especially at a 3 cost with 5,000 power, natural attacker can play this as soon as turn 2. So it's a very interesting card. Curious to see if it starts seeing some play in future decks, but probably just going to be sticking to Foxy, as you really do only get to search those Foxy Pirate type cards. Next up, we've got this little fish guy, Monda, 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter. Activate main, you can trash this. If your leader's Foxy Pirates type, you get 1 Dawn rested. Kind of a neat little turn 1 play going second. Allows us to ramp up, so we'll be on 5 on our second turn, meaning we could play something out like a kid. Aren't many effects that let you ramp on your first turn, so it's kind of cool. But it's just another Foxy Pirates type character, helps us meet the effect for our condition, and in a pinch it gets us a rested Dawn. We are also running 4 copies of the starter deck for Kaido. This is our only top end card, 9 cost, 10,000 power. On play, Dawn -5, you get to KO a 6, and it gains rush. So Really good at helping us control our opponent's board, which is what we're trying to do. We're playing a very slow, passive game. Our leader effect allowing us to lock things up is helpful, but we still can't lock up active characters, so having this to clean up an active character attack into something else, and then potentially even still use our leader effect. You are doing a lot of Don minus, but if you're able to stick some of your rampers on the board alongside a kid, you are able to do it relatively easily. So really strong card. Definitely liked this one in the deck. I think in the games we won, we definitely played this. We're also running 2 copies of Ragnarok. This was introduced in EBO1 but hasn't really seen any play. It's a 5 cost event. You can return 1 Dawn and KO an 8 cost or less. So it's kind of like a Red Rock of sorts. It doesn't remove anything, but 8 cost or less does hit a lot of things. It's a little annoying though, because like in the yellow matchup, you can only really hit the Katakuris. You can't hit the Yamatos or the Aces, but it is what it is. Also has a trigger to ramp 1 Dawn, as a lot of purple event cards do. Only running 2 copies of this card, which might be surprising. This is a really strong card. 2 cost event, counter Dawn -1. Up to one of your leaders or characters gets plus 2000 power, and then you can rest any one of your opponent's characters, which is really nice. Ability to just rest anything is exceptionally strong. This is a card you'll probably see in other purple decks, just because being able to rest anything is incredibly strong. It's essentially stopping an attack all on its own, and you're still getting plus 2000 power for a counter, which is nice. Again, has that traditional purple trigger of getting you a ramp to Dawn, which doesn't come up often, but can be a nice little addition if you see it in your life. But just a nice card that helps us, again, stay alive into the late game, which is really what we need to do with this deck. We need to get set up, and if our opponent's not able to deal with their board, usually we can squeak out the win. And then lastly, we've got 2 copies of this 3 cost event, Megadon Nine Tails Rush. This is a event where we can, if we have less or equal Dawn than our opponent, we can set one of our Foxy as active. So this is not just our leader, we can also set the character active as well. Can be a nice way to end the game with 2 attacks. You can put bunch of Dawn on the Foxy, swing, restand, swing again. So cute little way to close out the game. It didn't come up too often, but I do think it's worth running, especially for a matchup like Black Yellow Luffy. If they're not able to stick 2 Sabos, being able to just pile 7 Dawn on the Foxy and do a double attack might be enough to get you the game. I'm not even going to talk about other options for this deck. I know there are other Foxy Pirates type characters that you can run, but this is kind of where I was at. This is actually not my personal list, I do have to say. I found this deck off of One Piece Top Decks. It went, I believe, 4-1 at a flagship, getting 2nd place. I don't see a name for the player that topped with this deck, so I do apologize for that, but just know that this is not my original brew. I found this on One Piece Top Deck, so I'll try and remember to have that linked in the video description. But with all that said, that's the deck list. Let's go ahead and jump right into the ranked gameplay. Alrighty, up against Doflamingo. This hand is fine, so we'll keep it in classic me fashion. I thought I was recording the last game, and I was not, which was a bit unfortunate because we actually got a win with this deck on ranked. So currently we're 1-5 if I'm not mistaken, so not doing too hot. But we're also playing a troll deck, so that's to be expected. We do have our ramper, which is what we want to see early. That's a plus, at least. Gonna be swinging big, getting out the Edward Weevil. We're not going to use that. Now, what's interesting with this matchup, we don't really have anything great to play out here, but we can kind of start locking them out of the game. But I don't know if that is the schmoove or not. We're up to 7. I'm not able to ramp if I do that. So I think I'm just going to swing into the Weevil or a big number and play out the Chopper. Next turn I can play out the Foxy. And then I've kind of got my engine of rampers. They can't hit the Foxy with a Gravity Blade either, which is nice. That is one of the big things the Doflamingo deck got going for them, is just they can play the Gravity Blade, which is really good into decks like Black Yellow Luffy right now. Gonna be doing another 7k swing, and they've got the Law. We're gonna take... The Law is gonna make me put something back. I'm probably just putting this... Okay, so they're not using the Law. Interesting. We're gonna play out the Foxy. May as well just keep this up. We'll do a 5 at them. Let's freeze these two. Get another one back there. We're going back to 10 next turn, which means we can even play a Kaido if we want. We're just going to pass there, leave the 2 up for this event if we want to use that. I imagine they'll bounce the Law back to their hand, and we're just going to put this away. Kind of a cute little card that can potentially give you lethal in scenarios where you wouldn't otherwise have it. They are just going to bottom deck those 2, which is kind of what we expected to happen. But we can play... Honestly, maybe we don't lock them up this turn and we just say we're going to get a Kaido on board. I think that's a little better. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. KO that. We can get one back. We'll swing 6 here, no effect, because we don't have the 3 Foxy pirate type characters on the board right now. And so while we have not yet, well, we took their first life there, we might be in an okay spot here since we should be able to start. That's a little frustrating. We do still have things to play. But they are going to be getting our Foxy there. Baited not attacking with it, and it was looking like maybe that was the better move in that scenario. Guess we'll swing 6. Perfect. Got punished by the pudding. Classic. I need to really start doing a better job of playing around that card, because I don't. But got another Foxy. Next turn we can play these 2 out even and start our engine again, locking up a couple characters a turn. They might just swing big into our Kaido, but that seems like kind of a gamble on their part. Yes, they're just gonna swing 5 into life. I'm gonna take it. maybe a little greedy. Gecko. Okay, we've got that guy too. I think we just play this though with the chopper. Makes their things super small. I mean, we can't, but sure. Now we'll do this here. Freeze, freeze. Gain one attack. Life. Attack life. Now all our things have -2 because we've got 2 of the Foxy out. We're gonna play the draw Kaido. Pretty good. For them for sure. Do I just get out another Kaido here? KO the blocker. Seems good to me. And then we can get some Dawn back. Go ahead and just do a 5k with the leader first to ensure we can get our effect off. It could potentially trigger something to bottom deck the chopper. We go into 8 next turn. Now, so that, see, they did get something to, but I think we actually just lose now, because if they're smart and swing with the Perona, I think we're dead. And that is what they do, so yep. Sheesh. I think this matchup could be okay, but I don't know. Sure. Foxy's good. Won't get the ramp, but I could just play that out. I think I'm just gonna pass though. Sure. Fine. Actually gonna play this out just to have a body. Might be a bit of a strange play, but ooh, that might be too many Foxies. I know I said I like that card, but it is good, but I also need to start doing other things. Freeze that. Play the chopper. Ramp one. Next turn we can play Foxy and start using our leader effect. Pickles. Okay, they let us keep. Foxy better. Doing that. Probably. That stops an attack. We've got the chopper to start ramping up again. Next turn. Now if they start using their little brothers and leader effect, at least they aren't swinging 11 at us. We are already down to 2, however. We are going to need to start finding blockers to wall up. We've definitely got them. 4 Sanji. I think it's 4 Sanji. 4 Kid, 4 Chopper. They are going to be going down to 0. Only got the Luffy. We play the event to grab the little Sabo. Probably trash a Sabo. Then they got Luffy Sabo. And KO our chopper. Trash a Gecko. Must have a lot of geckos, which is not what we like to see. They actually aren't playing out the Luffy though. I don't even think they use the effect there, so let's go ahead and block it. We can. Could do Kid. Kid good. Kid with Chopper. Seven Dawn. Let's do... Yeah, let's do... Well, hold on. Okay, yeah. We can do that. We'll do Kid... Chopper... Effect. I guess we don't even need to... Try and clear the Luffy. But we can. I guess it's better to try and get cards out of their hand than to not. We'll do the 6. Counter. Then we can do an 8. Block. Imagine they've got like a Gecko and they can start recurring the Sabo. Maybe it was better to not attack there, but especially after they countered the first one. But at least they aren't attacking me. That's a plus side here. Might just play out another Foxy next turn. Yeah, they use the Luffy, which makes sense. Udon on leader. Sense. Sabo, Luffy. So they're probably going to KO the Chopper. This guy is not really doing anything right now. There's a Gecko. Luffy. Be shocked if they don't get the chopper. Yeah. And then Sabo. Are on 10. I think we're just playing out another Foxy here. How big are we if we put everything on? 7, that's 12. That's not doing a whole lot. This could come in handy later, though. Go ahead and play this out. Back. Freeze them. Try and start getting cards out of their hand. Because we didn't have enough to swing 9 twice. We can do this. Probably block this one. They want to start recurring this Sabo, but they are giving us counter, which is a lot better for us. Only got the Gecko. It's at -2. They don't have another Sabo. We can Kaido next turn. Clean up the board. They do. Looks like got another Sabo. Putting 2 Sabos into life. Not ideal, to be sure. They're not gonna be playing another Gecko, I don't think, since they've only got 1 Sabo, so they're gonna play one from hand. Actually not great. Kinda would like this guy to stick around. Board on. There's the other Sabo. Odds are they've got another Gecko at this point. They've filtered through their deck so much. We play another Foxy. Back here, use the effect. 1, 2, 3. Now we get to lock up the Gecko. You let it go. And we don't have anything else to do. So we pass. I guess I could have used my effects to ramp some more. But we're already at 8, so we'll go back up to 10 anyhow. They're probably not attacking with the Sabos, which is nice. We've locked up their board. And even if they do want to swing the Sabo, they got to put 2 Dawn on them to even become a swinger at this point. Because we've got 3 Foxies out. Not something you see happen every day for sure. Hopefully they can't do more Sabo shenanigans. Looking like they will, though. I suppose there's always the chance that they just don't have anything to play out. They got Gecko, though. Over the Gecko. They play out 2 Luffys, which was surely a mistake. Because... yikes. I mean... I do... We're only at 7. Let's see what they do if we poke a 7. They block. We're gonna play Kaido. Kill that. Gain, gain, gain. Now they have to start giving me cards. I'm still just gonna play safe. Yeah. Lock up their leader. Nothing rested. No characters rested. And I'm gonna be honest, I think we win this one. It's gonna be real hard for them to win with what they've got left. They've dug a lot. We know they've already trashed 2 geckos. Do they have the 4th? 6K. That. They do have the 4th gecko. They are going to be getting some Sabos. They're only going to have 1 card in hand, though, so can we just math win at that point? We go... N. The counter. We go 9, 9, 9, yeah. We just win, unless I'm bad at math. Nope, yeah, because they have to block. They've got nothing in hand. So able to get the win there against Black Yellow Luffy. Even though they did have all their Gecko Morias, they had all their Sabos. We were able to get there, just locking up their board. So the Foxy deck can do things, but it's just not consistent. And if the opponent is able to deal with the board, you do absolutely nothing. That's going to wrap things up for today's video. I don't know if we're going to be doing more gameplay with this one. Most of the videos I've been doing these ranked gameplays. We do one where we go over the deck and the stats, and then maybe a game or two, and then one where we do just gameplay and then talk about stats at the end. This deck's not competitively viable. It is a deck you could definitely take to locals and have fun with, probably get a couple wins, but this is not a deck you're going to see topping a regional. Maybe if you get lucky or someone cracks the deck, but this is probably as good as you're going to do with it. I played 16 games, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. So we have a 25% win rate with this deck. I would say easily your worst matchups are Perona and Bonnie. They just rest all your things and attack into them. Most of your things have really poor stat lines as well, and because you need to keep 3 on board to use your effect, you're basically a leaderless leader. You have no leader effect. But yeah, able to get the win against Black Yellow Luffy. We got one against Enel. Got one against Luffy. And I've got one win against all the Luffys. Purple Luffy, red purple Luffy, and now Black Yellow Luffy. But anyways, that's gonna wrap things up for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This was a painful one to get recorded, just because this deck is not very good. But hey, you know, we got a couple wins on the rank ladder, so I'm sure our opponents are salty about that, and there's no better feeling than that. But again, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.